everybody. So last night I finished up Rebel Skies. This book is about a young girl named, and I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly, Kururu. She was found as a young girl along with her best friend Haru. They live on board the Midori. Yes, this is one of those worlds where a lot of people live on flying ships, because that's how we roll. Actually, I think Midori is not actually a flying ship. It's a flying island. I don't know if we ever discussed that part. But yeah, she's up in the air. And of course, there's the skylines and the groundlings, and of course, the people who live on the ground. There's a whole case system, but that's neither here or there. The Midori gets attacked. She is whisked away along with Haru by this new person that they've met named Himura. Again, I'm trying to pronounce all these correctly. My apologies to Ann Sei Lin, who wrote the book, if I butcher any of these. So in this world, she is known what's known as a crafter. However, on the Midori, she's not allowed to practice this craft. And so Himura is also a crafter, recognizes that he's there to save her, takes her, they escape the big bad that is attacking. Life gets much more difficult from there, as one would expect. They basically have to escape this in what sounds like it's supposed to be a one-person aircraft, and they're all kind of packed in there. It doesn't quite make it back to safety. I don't think I'm giving anything away there. But yeah, something happens to Haru, so she ends up working with Himura to perfect her craft. Not think I'm going to be giving anything away here because this is early in the book. Basically, the craft that they're speaking of is that they call them shikigami, which I know has its own meaning in Japanese folklore. I don't know if she's using this for this or if this is something that's been done before, but basically they're tied into origami. They're basically paper animals running around that have these. They never really say it in the book, but based on what I've looked up shikigami to mean, there are spirits inhabiting these papers. They're tied together. And not everybody can be a crafter. And also the ability to create shikigami from scratch has been lost over time. So she can control origami, and she can bond with a shikigami if she's given one, but she can't make one from whole cloth. So he promises that if she becomes a good enough crafter that she can impress the princess, then the princess might have the ability to heal Haru. Anyhow, can't get much farther without giving any spoilers. I will tell you this was an interesting book. I kind of liked it. There were parts in it where I was kind of leaning towards a 3, which I know doesn't sound super exciting, but 3 is a solid book, at least on my rating scale. I ended up doing a 3.5. I know some people aren't going to be happy with what seems to be an abrupt ending, but this is part of a series, and I feel like I can't fully rate book 1 until I read book 2, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's a little bit YA, a little bit, I think it's called silk punk. You get your East Asian mythology, you got your flying ships and all that, but I really need to see where it goes from here. Like I said, I'm kind of putting it at that 3.5 range. If it putters out on book 2, might lower it down to a 3 because we don't really get to see where everything goes. However, if book 2 takes this to higher and higher planes, then the book probably has to lean more towards a 4. So for the part of Goodreads, I'm going to give this a 4 because I tend to round up. You can't pick a 3.5. But for your information, this one here is at a 3.5 with the jury out. Also, get the physical book. Unless you're familiar with a lot of these terms, it was read by Susan Momoko Hingley. I hope I pronounced her name right. And I think she did a great job, don't get me wrong. However, she pronounces the words very well, which means that if you're not attuned to certain Eastern names and words, sometimes they kind of sneak past you there, and I feel like if I'd read the book, they might have stuck a little better. But she did a great job. I especially love her take on the princess's voice towards the end. And oh my goodness, I'm going to forget the name. There is a Shikigami. It's a fox. I want to say it's Anakai. Oh my goodness, I have completely spaced it out. But yeah, she does a great job in both those. Again, very good job as a narrator. I'm just not as familiar enough with the terms to have followed it as easily as she says it. Anyhow, I would say if you want to, feel free to give this a try. If you want to hold on and see what I think of book 2 when I get to it before making a decision, I also completely understand. Like I said, the jury is out, but I'm not disappointed yet. I just don't know how excited I am yet for this series. And we'll find out. All right. Have a good one, guys.